경기장이잖아요. 한국에서도 되게 유명한 경기장이잖아요. 해외에서도 좀 그렇고.
OMG and Star Wars Royal Club in an all-China clash.
皇族俱乐部都感觉是我们的宿敌一样的吧，就经常在关键的比赛中就把我们给干掉了。
我觉得我们跟 OMG 打这次胜面还算挺大的，因为我们最近的心态都调整的挺好。
我觉得赢皇族的话，只要我们5个人都努力，然后用心吧，我觉得皇族还是能扳回来的。
And welcome to Seoul, South Korea, where the 2014 League of Legends World Championship continues. Today marks the second day of the semi-finals as the remaining 2 teams will battle on our stage to determine who will face Samsung White in the finals at the Sangam World Cup Stadium on October 19th. We're inside the Olympic Gymnastics Arena where moments ago, Starhorn Royal Club entered the venue, getting themselves ready to do battle with OMG, who themselves getting sorted out and having some snacks in the ready room before they take the stage for another important best of 5. Welcome, guys. I am Trevor Quickshot Henry, and joining me at the analyst desk for this best of 5 series is once again Evil Geniuses Mitch, Crepo Force Bulls, Counter Logic Gaming's Yiliang, Double Lift Peng, On Game Netcaster, Christopher Monte Cristo Michaels, and of course, running out the table, David Freak Turley from the North American LCS. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. And this year's Worlds is a truly global experience, as we've got 24 live broadcast partners bringing the excitement directly to you in over 16 different languages. That's our broadcast team working extremely hard behind the scenes. The LPL team is here providing coverage for the Chinese audience, rock on, along with the OGN casters broadcasting the matches for the home crowd here in Korea. Then, of course, our very own Kobe, D-Man, and Joe, who will be casting today's series for us. Shox will also be on the ground talking to the players firsthand, and right now she's standing by with OMG's coach, so let's check in with her.
Thank you very much. I'm indeed joined here by OMG's coach, TT. And the first thing I'd like to ask is, what do you think prompted that huge change in level of play from your team between the group stage and the quarterfinals?
今天我们迎来的是 OMG 的教练 TT， 所以第一个问题想问一下，你觉得是什么让 OMG 在小组赛的表现和从进入8进4到半决赛的表现截然不同？
我觉得应该是我们在国内的时候，我们训练的队伍可能都是一些我们国内2线的队伍，所以说在训练中我们就得不到很多的提高。但是到了S4之后，我们遇到了很多很强的队伍 ，White、Blue、Cloud9、Alliance 这些队伍，我们和他们练了很多，所以从他们身上学到了很多，所以我们进步飞快，然后就到了现在。
So when we were in China, when we had the practice with other teams, those are more like a second tier or LSPL teams, and it's really hard for us to literally level up. After we came to the 2014 World Championships, we practiced a lot with international teams, including Cloud9, Samsung White, Alliance, etc. So I think our learning curve is becoming very steep, and we level up a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, and that makes that you're now in the semifinals. I saw you guys were here yesterday watching the Samsung White versus Blue game. How did you keep your team from maybe focusing too much on what a possible future opponent could do when they have such an important game here today?
你们昨天也在现场看了半决赛的比赛，也看了三星白战胜三星蓝。然后在今天的比赛中，你觉得你怎么让队员从过多集中在以后的比赛，转换到更集中在今天这场更加重要的比赛上？
就是我们队伍有习惯，就是在别人比赛的时候，我们都会去观看。然后其实对我自己也是，我觉得看别人的比赛，能从别人身上的闪光点学到很多东西。所以包括在和纳金秀的对战之前，我们看了EDG 和 Royal Club 的那个比赛，然后看了他们的比赛，我觉得对我们第二天的比赛也有了很多的帮助。所以其实昨天看比赛，我觉得我们不会去注重三星 White 有多强或者什么的，我们只看他们有哪些比较亮点的地方，值得我们学习的地方。
So it's more like our team's tradition or habit to watch other teams playing as well. Even before we play with Najin Shield, we also watch the game of EDG versus Royal. So from our opinion, during the game we watched yesterday, we won't focus too much about how strong Samsung White is. Instead, we will focus on what we can learn from them, what we can further level up about our own skills.
Well, you mentioned it as well. Starhorn Royal Club, that is your opponent here today. Great history between you guys, and Uzi is absolutely on form. What are your chances to beat them here?
你刚才也提到了皇族，然后今天你们就要跟皇族正式对阵。我们也知道小狗现在状态也比较好，你觉得你们有多大的几率能够战胜他们呢？
我觉得我对我的队员都是充满信心的，我相信他们能够发挥出他们最好的水平吧。我觉得这就够了。我觉得我们都相信我们能赢。
I am pretty confident with all the OMG players, and I believe they will present all their best performance here on the stage. That's enough. And from my perspective, I'm confident that we will win.
All right, well, thank you very much. Good luck
谢谢。
in that fantastic matchup. And as for us, we're going to head back over to the desk.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Great hearing from OMG saying they leveled up a lot at Worlds. We'll see how good they can be. Before we get to today's series, let's turn to yesterday's action and semi-final series where our first finals team of the World Championship was decided. Gentlemen, Samsung White had a convincing win yesterday. What stands out in your minds in that victory over Samsung Blue?
I was just really impressed with how well White was playing both on an individual level as well as team play. There was almost zero hesitation in their play. But then if you look at across, Blue just didn't really show up. I mean, it left a sour taste in my mouth to see like the Blue of old and then the Blue that showed up yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, Mata gets a little bit too little credit in my opinion. He influences the map so well.
Best support in the world.
The best support in the world, like we've been saying, but nobody talks about him really. He's always 1 or 2 steps ahead of the enemy support. He's always there faster. He's always setting up vision faster, and that's why White is able to make all these plays safely.
Yeah, but beyond those just kind of individual players, I was also impressed by the number of new picks that White was able to kind of unleash and do really well with. Of course, Dandy's Rengar making its first appearance at Worlds. Now, we know it's great from when he plays in the Korean scene, but Looper, man, this is a guy who's known for his teleport play and for playing tanky top laners, and to see him bust out a Kassadin and an Akali in a semifinal match, he's really diversified his playstyle, and it's very exciting to watch.
Yeah, I kind of had the same ideas that both Carpo and Monte Cristo had here. Looper had a 52 KDA in that best of 5. I have like literally never seen that kind of a scoreline. Only 52
Only
double
52.
lift. Do you even have 52 kills like throughout playoffs? Like this guy was incredible, absolutely. And I agree with you, Crepo, here. I felt like Samsung Blue underplayed a little bit. Acorn was 1, 17, and 4. In that best of 5, like complete inverse of Looper here, and it broke my heart a little bit to see that series.
Well, Samsung White definitely looking fantastic going into the finals. But before we head into today's game, let's take a quick look at that very nearly complete championship bracket. As we've already highlighted, Samsung White will move on to the World Finals, and today we will find out who their opponent will be when Starhorn Royal Club and OMG face off. The winner of today's best of 5 will join Samsung White in our final series of the 2014 World Championship on October 19th at the Sangam World Cup Stadium. I'm very much looking forward to that one. And for more information about the players and teams, head to lolesports.com where you can find stats, features, VODs of the games, and much more. And while you're there, you can let us know who you think will win the series by clicking on the schedule link and just clicking the thumbs up. You can also visit watch.lolesports.com and enjoy the games in the language of your choice, along with real-time stats and tweets from pro players. We'd also like your input here on the analyst desk, because we love hearing from you guys. And today we want to know which player matchup could be the deciding factor in this series and why. Well, we want to find out where your focus will be in these matches, so send your responses to us at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag Worlds. We'll read and discuss some of them on air later in the show. So let's turn our attentions to the game, guys, as we head into game number 1 of this all-China clash between Starhorn Royal Club and OMG. The teams are on stage getting set up, and let's take a quick look at the journey that brought both of these teams to the semifinals.
And if it's anything like this video, the next series is going to be a bloodbath. And I really like the OGN style this video was made in, because I sometimes still go back to the 2012 promo video they made for us for when we actually made finals against Frost. And it's just like this fast cut, like pasting of the video.
Just had to throw that out there that you made finals against Frost. Self-plug.
What happened to CLG in that tournament?
Well, let's play nice. Let's play nice and get focused. Guys, we are into the semi-final. Let's talk history for a second. Royal Club knocked OMG out of the quarterfinals at last year's World Championship. The roster was different, with only Uzi returning this year. However, this does mark the first time in League of Legends history that a team has made back-to-back semi-finals at the World Championship. A win for Royal Club would make that back-to-back World Finals. Let's bring things a little closer to home and the events of the 2014 Worlds. Both of these teams looked incredible in the quarterfinals. They both stepped up dramatically. Let's start with Royal Club. They were led by their, ADC superstar Uzi and Doublelift. Talk to me about the squad and Uzi in particular.
Yeah, this guy has insane star power. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a single player, maybe a faker, who can just single-handedly carry a game and turn it around, especially when they're losing. A lot of these times, a Royal Club is not in a great position. They're like on the retreat or something like that, and then you'll see Uzi, oh, he gets a quad kill, and then the game is just completely turned on its head.
And what's crazy about that is it's not even traditionally how Royal Club even wins their games. I look back at all their playoff games against OMG, and it's actually more about the mid lane matchup of Corrin versus Cool. Problem is both those mid laners are underperforming now, and so Royal Club are like, well, we're going to key off of Uzi now, and he's just doing fine.
Yeah, Uzi's really getting a team on fire. On the other side of the rift, it is OMG. They swept the Korean squad, Najee and White Shield, 3-0 in the quarterfinals. Crepo, I know you get a little excited when we talk about going, so share some more insight.
Crepo gets rated R when he talks about going.
I'll try to tone it down here, boys. I just want to highlight how smart of a player he is. His target switching has been one of the best, if not the best, in a tournament, when he sees a target drop low enough for his teammates to kill, he'll just switch over to the next one, crowd control that, and his flanks were really good. Always finds a way to either leave his top lane early in the game and come out in mid, or just flank the enemy team, and I think that's going to be really good, because they'll need to catch Uzi.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to talk about Kola in this matchup as well, who has had a bit of a shaky tournament, and I really haven't been that impressed by Kola coming in here. He's only played 3 champions, which are Aurelia, Rumble, and Rise, and these are going to be pretty contested picks, or a couple of them, from Going as well. So when you have your top laner playing these carry champions against probably the best carry top in this tournament in Going, you run a little bit of a risk there. And also when we talk about the positioning, Uzi, you know, he really plays with fire a lot of the time. He really pushes the boundaries of where he can be positioned. And a couple times in that series against D2G, I feel like if Koro was more fed or more farmed, that he could have actually gotten kills on Uzi. And Uzi has to be really careful because Going will be probably a monster in this series. So Uzi's going to have to dial that aggression back a little bit, I think.
I think it's actually really likely here. And again, it's like beating a dead horse, but over and over again, history doesn't repeat what's happening here at Worlds. Kola's traditionally doing just fine on the top lane against Going back in China. Here, that's not the case. He's underperforming, and yes, Going is stepping up. But also, talking about stepping up, though, I want to talk about OMG and their bottom lane here, because Cloud came in, and Cloud actually has been consistently great, both historically and here. When OMG played with Cloud, they were 16-5 in the regular season of the LPL. When they were not playing with Cloud, they were 1-6 in the regular season of the LPL. There's a very big difference here. And the funny thing is, it's not even the laning phase that's so different. Even Dada777 was doing well in lane, even against Starhorn Royal Club, even in the regionals. The difference being, though, that the rest of the game is so incredibly different. The mid game is so much better with Cloud in it, and OMG transition their game really well.
Well, at the same time, at the opposing side rather of Cloud, you have Zero coming in, and that he's been playing such a good job in terms of peeling. Actually, both of these people have been playing so much Janna, whether I wonder, will people start finally targeting Janna? Because we ran the stats, and I think both Janna combined with Thresh, there's only been 4 games where neither have been picked or banned. So Janna and Thresh keep showing up, and I wonder when these teams are going to make the switch to, instead of target banning one of them, either do both or none, because Janna has an insane win rate this tournament so far.
Yeah, that could be a really determining factor in picks and bans, because I really wasn't impressed with Zero's Thresh even when he was in Korea as well. But on the other hand, we know that Cloud has a very good Thresh from his play in the LPL.
Well, we'll have to see which picks come out. I want to pick your brains and see who you're voting for. OMG, they used to be cursed with a bad bottom lane. They seem to have revitalized in the quarterfinals with Cloud coming in. Freak ran the numbers. You see how good it is. Is it enough to beat Starhorn Royal Club and be the sole representative of China in the finals? Crepo, who is your victor and why?
I think it will be enough. I think OMG is going to take this series 3-2, but it'll be a very close one. It's undeniable that Uzi will just find a way to break open 1 or 2 of these games, but I don't think 3.
Double, if we haven't heard from you for a while, who's your winner and why?
I'm going with Royal Club 3-2. Honestly, I think OMG's a little bit over hyped because they 3-0'd Najin Shield. I thought they just kind of got a free pass into semis, to be honest, because Najin was playing so badly. And when people say Sand and Cloud kind of revitalized the team with that change, honestly, they're both really passive, and I don't think they stand a chance against Uzi.
See, for me, EDG was very underwhelming, and even then they could take Starhorn Royal Club to 5 games. So, you know, I think that OMG just has a lot more dimension, so heck yeah, I'm going OMG 3-2 in this series.
I am also going to go OMG, and I think it will be a not very close matchup. I think they can squeak a game. 3-1 is my prediction here. The one guy we're not talking about leveling, he's actually 3rd place behind Dandy and Spirit in enemy buff control, so he's been jungling amazing. Insects like bottom 4. Kola's bottom 4 in CS at 10. Going's top 3. This is, by the way, the entire World Championship of 16 players. OMG are pretty much better down the line, aside from the Uzi hard carry doublelift. So I think this is a pretty cut-dry OMG win.
Well, we'll come back to doublelift a little later if Royal Club do start putting up strong performances. Let's see how their responses measure up with you guys at home. According to LOLesports.com, the fans believe in Starhorn Royal Club, not by a very large margin nonetheless, but you are mostly siding with doublelift.
Thank you.
So before we head to the caster desk to get the first game started, Starhorn Royal Club and OMG talk about their strategies and their opponents coming into this matchup.
我们队伍在UGI 上真的吃过很多苦头吧，然后这次的话，我想我们一定能让他就没那么舒服的。
和 OMG 打的话，主要是针对他们的上单嘛，因为 我们都知道他们的上单是非常强的，然后我们的上单用的英雄也刚好和他们一样，所以说一定会针对他们的上单，那样会比较好打。
个人来说的话，肯定很想赢回皇族，因为去年在S3总决赛上面输的比较惨，就是也有一些遗憾。那今年的话，希望能把这个遗憾给补回来。
就是这样让他们打回去。说实话，还是有一点点经验，就不会那么轻敌。
我觉得今年和去年相比，今年我们会更加强大，我们会用我们自己练习过的一些适合我们自己的战术去迎接这次挑战。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lee Demon Smith, and here joining me, of course, is Joe. He's still alive! Miller, and of course, Sam. That's game! Kobe, Hartman, Kensler, as we head into the last semi-final series of the World Championships.
Yeah, really excited for this one as well. The All China semi-final, I was going to say. I guess we can even call it the All China finals. It's only one team's going forward from here. This is going to be a really, really interesting one to watch. And honestly, I don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I love seeing matches like this that are two teams that know each other really, really well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic series. Let's get on to the starting lineups for these teams. Starting out, of course, on the blue side, the Starhorn Royal Club. They topped their group and they've stumbled the way here into the semi-finals, maybe. Starting out in the top lane, of course, is Cola. Insec in the jungle, the Korean import for them. Korn in that mid lane. Uzi, the superstar AD carry, and alongside him is a Korean. It is Zero as support.
And of course, on the red side, their opponents here is OMG. With Going in the top lane, Loveling in the jungle, Cool carrying in mid, San the AD carry, and Cloud on support.
And what a game we have here, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to check out the featured matchup for this match. It will, of course, take place in the jungle. It will be Insec versus Loveling, which Freak, of course, alluded to just a moment ago.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see these top two junglers coming out of the LPL to go head-to-head today because, you know, if there aren't lane swaps in this game, then the biggest strengths of these two teams are actually on opposite sides of the map, with OMG having going up on the top side and Royal Club having Uzi on the bottom side, which raises this age-old dilemma for both of these junglers. Do we focus on keeping our enemies' carry behind, or do we try and build up our carry?
So, as a former jungler and age-old by now, Kobe, what's your opinion? Where's the safest way to go, and where's the most successful way?
So, this is one of my favorite things about junglers in League of Legends is, you know, normally if you don't know your enemy that well, and maybe you don't know your own laners that well, then the safest route is always to go with your strong lane, just go down there, gank. If the enemy jungler shows up, then it's not that bad because you're already in a 3v3 advantageous situation. However, in a game like this, where they know each other so well, for instance, Insec has a penchant for ganking the bottom lane, then you can communicate with your lanes to control the vision, and you get into position early for a counter gank. You can turn that around really easily if you kite back into a bush, because the enemy will often spend abilities just to close the gap.
Yeah, we're going to see how this goes, of course. Pick and bans is a big deal for these, and we feel that actually OMG, or oh my god, whichever you want to call them, do have a big advantage in pick and bans.
It feels like there's way more pressure on Royal Club, at least, because they have the smaller champion pools, and just because there's so many threats here that OMG have already shown. This Jace that Cool already showed and was banned against them a couple times, we saw it yesterday, Pawn destroyed with this champion, and that's another threat that OMG have, just coming from all sides here.
Well, let's find out then, shall we, as we get into the first champion select here in game number 1. Best of 5, of course. Right now, Royal Club not really bringing any surprises out to us. Maokai and Alistair, two very standard bans these days. OMG, though, they're targeting Insec big time.
Yeah, the funny thing about both of these teams is that they both ban Alistar on the blue side, so neither of the top laners has really been willing to take that. This time around, we do see the Janna as well. Everybody's been talking about it. She's been the breakout support of all of Worlds.
But the thing is, Cloud's main champion was actually Thresh, which Najim Whiteshield banned away every single time last time these guys faced, so we haven't actually seen it. But, of course, Zillion did squeak through the cracks. We'll see whether that's going to be on Korn or Zero. But but there's a hell of a lot open for OMG. Surely a Kha'Zix maybe in there, could be Lucian, or that Thresh, like I said.
Yeah, this is what comes with spending bans in a game as tight as this on the jungle position. Banning out Insect, and then of course you're going to pick up the third of the top tier junglers here, Kha'Zix. That probably shoves Insect down to Jarvan or something like that, which would work well with Yasuo. He still has that knockup, not quite the Lee Sin.
We'll definitely as well obviously throw that Zilean over towards Zero in the bottom lane. We'll see about that one. Zero up until now only played the 3 champions. Janna, of course, the big one for him with 6 games played. Nami and Thresh, the other 2. And that Irelia, we were talking a lot about this top lane and the fact that Gogo and Cola do share quite a lot of champions on that side of the map, and it will be Irelia locked in for Cola, who for me has to step up here today in this best of 5.
I wonder if that's a little bit of mind games. The fact that they kept that Yasuo open for so long. Cool has been very vocal of how badly it's gone. I wonder if they're going to say, hey, we're going to take this, so maybe do you want it? Cool, do you want it? Try and force him onto a bad champion early on.
Trying to dare him into it. Yeah, that would be pretty funny, because Cool has actually said, you know, his problems with Yasuo here at the world stage have been with his lack of familiarity with solo laning styles from international players. But he knows Corn really well. We talk about these 2 teams. They've played more against each other in the LPL than any of the other LPL teams, currently standing even with that 8-8 record.
So another champion that was mentioned earlier on, Rumble, will be locked in here for Gogo in the top lane. Actually, he himself has not played any Rumble up until now, being Ryze, Irelia, Maokai, Kayle so far. On the other side, Cola did play a couple of Rumble games. For me, Twitch as well could be a very interesting one in this one, but it is a Lucian, in fact, that San decides to take away. And from his side of things, you know, that's his most played and most successful champion. 4 games played, 4 games won.
Yeah, it's good. I thought that was going to be a more hotly contested champion coming into this, because Uzi also had played a ton of games on that during the LPL season, but he's had great success on Tristana on the world stage here. Picks coming in so fast now. They do have the combo with Insect once again that they like to run with Orion, Shockwave, plus the Jarvan jump in.
But all I'm seeing here is Star Royal Club have gone with a fairly safe opening pick, whereas OMG are going full on aggression. This is full mid game. We are going to come at you.
And that's a great strategy to bring against this Royal Club team, because Royal Club is a heavily tempo-based team. They love to keep it very high-paced, because Uzi, you'll very rarely see him freezing lanes. He almost always will shove the lanes early, get the early turrets down, and then take that little bit of gold into team fights immediately. On Tristana, though, that's kind of counterintuitive, so we'll see how they use it this time around. Being Insect and Uzi on the same team, though, it's always nice to have that Zilean if anybody gets a little bit too deep.
And there is the final pick for OMG. Going to go into the middle lane with Jace for Cool. And already played a Jace game. Actually has an 18 KDA from that one game, 4-1-14. And those are the kind of numbers that people are expecting from Cool coming into the World Championships.
And the thing is, that last pick brings this whole composition together so well for OMG. They have ridiculous siege right now. Every single champion on OMG has an immense amount of pressure at a turret. Kha'Zix evolved that W, they've got great poke, even Lucian can help with that wave clear, and the Rumble ultimates on the turret, you can get a whole team to have health and they just have to back off and give up objectives to you.
We'll see how it works out. Of course, we saw Samsung White banning Rumble out 3 games on the trot. Of course, that's all they wrote for Samsung Blue. We'll see how it works out for these 2 teams. The battle for China. Who will face Samsung White in the final? It's definitely going to be a big one. I know obviously the China fans out there will be edging on this one, but I want to see what you guys at home think about this series. Who will take the win in the first game here? Use your hashtags SHR win for Starhorn Road Club or OMG win, well, for OMG, of course, too, at LOL Esports. And, of course, we'll check out your votes once we get into the game. Big first game here, I feel, for both these teams.
Yeah, definitely, because they have such a weird history with the best of 5 games. Even in the interview, Zero was talking about how they were jokingly going to start out this series going 0-2, just because they've always started out going 2-0 and then losing the series. We'll see if that strategy actually works out for them this time around, but it has gone to best of 5s.
Yeah,
every single time.
Not sure that going 0-2 at the start is the way you really want to kick off a World Championship semi-final. We are going to find out, though, as we get into Game 1 between Starhorn Royal Club and OMG, with Royal Club starting out here on the blue side.
So let's see how they start. We saw a lot of level 1 action between these Chinese teams throughout this tournament. This being the semi-final, Cool immediately getting caught out by Korn, but quickly strikes back. We'll see if there's any big invades. We saw a couple of first bloods. It looks like Go-Going will be searched out, caught out by the Demacia standard, and will step away to safety as Uzi just puts a quick shot on him, and they get their ward coverage in.
Not quite able to finish off that ward there, but look at Cool's position. He's basically bullying them back. Loveling has spotted that ward going down on his red buff ramp, so early vision spotted pretty much across the map, and actually early sweeper used there. That will be obviously from Zero to clear out the vision of the Tribush up top.
Yeah, they want to try and clear out as much vision as possible, work around this Lucian and Thresh lane here. Zillion and Trist, not the best combo early. Switching back here, though.
Yeah, look at this. They've both shown each other in lanes, and are both switching around. So, whether OMG are reacting to Star Royal Club or Star Royal Club reacting to OMG, either way, it's going to be a 5-man push from OMG. They want the invade, and it looks like Star Royal Club are going to react.
Moving up there as well. This could be a very interesting start. No vision directly.
They're going to get him off the blue
area. They're edging their way through there. There is a ward down now, and they've got themselves around the corner. Currently, if we look at the minimap, 5 versus 4. If this were to kick off, Royal Club are going into this one. They're not going to spot them till the very end. There's a flag over the top, which gives it away. Damage exchange either side, but no kills coming down just yet. It's all about the blue for now.
Smite fight between the junglers. Who's going to get it? Nobody wants to do damage to it. This time around, Cool has come across, so now it's a 5-on-5. He's going to lay damage out from the side here as OMG force him away. Blue resets, and this is a very long level 1 engage. We're almost 2.5 minutes in already.
It's because there's no hard engage level 1 for these teams. With Cloud starting out Flay, they'd have to get really close to actually make a fight happen, and we're 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game with nobody in any lanes. 5v5 on the blue buff here. Nobody wants to give it up.
We knew this was going to be a bloodbath. They're not interested in farming. Screw the experience. We want to fight straight away. And it looks like they're going to go in for it again. Blue buff almost being reset there, taking low within smite range. Cloud looking to get the flay down. Cool comes around. There's the flay. There's the buff going in.
Going in for Cloud. He's actually really low there. Burning down from Zero's Ignite. They get away. The blue buff in the end went over to Loveling though. So they managed to pick that one up. Almost 3 minutes into the game, the first buff goes down.
Well, there's the featured matchup right there. Loveling with the smite advantage over Insect, and he's got the level advantage. The early blue buff secured for Kha'Zix is really going to be helpful for him in this clear speed, because without it, it would be very difficult, having waited so long to get back into that jungle.
And I want to keep our eye on this one, because red buff's going to go to Loveling now. We'll see whether it goes straight to the blue buff again, because you can see Sun and Cloud are only just returning to layout. Cloud is making his way through the buff, so they're predicting that Star Royal Club may try and invade here.
Yeah, and with it shaking out into the lane swaps like this, they're going to want some extra early vision down around by this dragon. It looks like OMG might be prepping it to go for one of those early dragons and exchange this Uzi and Zero swap to try and get that early gold and timer.
Not going in. This is blue buff number 2 for OMG. So really nice little start. Cloud will actually be face checking here. There are 2 men around. Insect is level 2, so he's got the combo. There's the flay back. Half HP. I don't think they've got enough to actually finish him off here, but they'll sure as hell do a lot of damage to him. No kill, but Loveling's now coming down.
Cool coming down as well. He's just backed off at the end there. Sand's going to try and keep them away. There's the ward going down. May get a bit more damage on towards Insect, forcing him away. Meanwhile, in the top, going, dive on the tower. Zero taken so low by the tower hits. Uzi taking a lot of damage, but going. He's on his last little hit here, and they fancy the kill.
Yeah, he doesn't have very much HP and no potions, so even though the dive doesn't net a kill, they do force him out of the lane. This is what I was talking about. The tempo base from Royal Club, they almost never will ever freeze a lane. Shoving it in early here, trying to pressure going. They get the teleport out. And now what can they do with a teleport advantage? We still have not seen Cola go into lane because San was able to freeze it so easily on his side. There's not a lot of options for Cola to get experience. They're going to have to do the double jungle and be behind.
Bit of a crazy start, which frankly is what we were really looking for when we came into this best of 5. Cloud actually getting a deep ward in, which will spot out both Cola and Insect. Meanwhile, Loveling now coming around the side. He's going to be spotted out by that ward that Uzi placed down just moments ago, and that'll mean that Uzi can just simply walk back to safety and will be able to recall off to base and spend the gold from his 29 CS.
Man, the fact that OMG were able to keep going in a lane during this early laning phase is so big for them. Level 6 Rumble is going to hit before the Aurelia, and it's going to give them that dragon pressure. Oh, Hope does miss.
They're going to go onto corner here. Loveling's going to come around. He should be safe getting to the turret. The knock away from Corp just puts him out of range of the Void Spikes. And as you mentioned, the fact that Cola is being starved a fair bit. Of course, we all know that Trinity Force has to be picked up as quickly as possible for an Aurelia player. And he's going to be behind potentially when we start hitting those big dragon fights.
Yeah, and even before that, because they're pulling the lane swap back already, sending Uzi down bottom to gain the support and AD carry on at least the dragon side of the map. Aurelia is going to go into this lane versus going very, very far down as far as the experience is concerned. What they're trying to manipulate here, Royal Club, is the teleport advantage. So we'll see if that actually is going to help them out. Remember, going did teleport to a turret, so it will at least be on that reduced cooldown for his teleport. Royal Club should have the exact timer, though.
Himself actually nicely in the elite here. 10 CS is his advantage. Prevented Korn from going back just moments ago where they shot blast through the acceleration gate. It's 2 versus 2 now as they stack up both AD carries, picking up Pickaxe first item.
Oh yeah, Pickaxe down there for both of them, so that's pretty even. However, we do see the difference in junglers. Both kind of on the bottom side of the map. Neither of them have decided to go up to gank that Rumble lane because Rumble shoving, and even if you're Insect, ganking a Rumble early with that sort of level advantage would be very dangerous. So both junglers on the bottom side of the map are going to try and pay attention to the AD carries this time around.
The difference being that OMG had that very deep ward that Cloud managed to get in there, giving vision that they know Insect's there, and Loveling is getting in position to counter it. Doesn't look like Insect wants to go aggressive on this one though, but he is ready and waiting if he is required. It seems he's going to be drawn back. So these lanes very even in CS, despite the fact they've not really been against each other yet.
Looks like he might be looking for that Lantern gank because they did have this one deep ward on the bottom side by the double golem bush. Okay, they're going for it. Flash in.
There goes the Lantern as well. Uzi actually pretty good damage back to Cloud though. Wow! Zero is going to fall, but Cloud made himself go down. Uzi will flash. Here comes Cola. That teleport coming into effect, but Lovely has got the damage there. Sand and Lovely will force Cola away as well, and it's a 2 for 1. For OMG.
This is exactly what we were talking about. The vision they got by the double golems with this deep ward made them know that Insect wasn't going to be down there, and so they pull off the Lantern Gate. Great play there from Cloud, but...
And the teleport that Aurelia used went in there. He's still only level 4, goes diving down. He's losing so much experience to going as that's happening, but what a great hook.
Yeah, again, we got to commend Cloud. And this, of course, is the Uzi style. He's not going to try and escape. He's going to go for the kill. They called in Cola because of the teleport advantage, but because teleport took so long to channel, didn't come in at the beginning of that fight, I think he'd lose out so much that he'd lose the kill anyway. And again, Rumble with the level 6 already got a whole bunch more extra experience.
And they could, if they'd have realized the position they were in, there was 2 level 5s versus a level 4 that teleported in. They probably could have got another kill there. They just didn't realize the situation so quickly, but OMG off to a great start here, and you guys are home, 71% of you backing them now. Of course, it was different at the start of the game when you guys were predicting throughout the week, but clearly this has been a very strong start from OMG, just like we saw against Najin Whiteshield in the quarterfinals.
1,500 gold lead in the way that this is going. Looks like that Dragon might be on the cards here soon with going to teleport back up. Loveling's actually bottom side of the map, and of course he's now 2-0 after that last little fight, which has given him that little jump in items. Another hook comes out from Cloud there. Doesn't quite connect onto things, but Dragon may be a real possibility, especially if they've got the blue under control.
And I did go back and look at that replay. I mean, Cola was actually under his turret, so he wasn't in danger of dying to going there. Just a little bit late on the communication here for Royal Club for that teleport. And communication has been something we constantly are bringing up with this team because they obviously have so many languages they're trying to use to actually coordinate this early in the game.
And just look how much he's hurting. You can see the CS differential is huge, but the fact he's had to go double Doran's Blade early on Aurelia He's not even started the Trinity Force yet. Meanwhile, we already see the Haunting guys picked up. Whew, that was a quick back. That bullet's going to follow him all the way back to base there from Uzi, but he is miles behind. Remember, of course, the timing will be all out of cock right now because, simply put, we had almost a 4-minute level 1 stage.
Yeah, I mean, that discrepancy in top lane is only going to get worse because, as we talked about, the opening for OMG, where they were able to get an extra lane of experience, was just so huge for getting this Rumble to a very good early start. We always talk about, gold disadvantages and CS disadvantages. That just pure experience advantage that Going had, he was able to bully Cola once they did shake out to the normal lanes. Remember, it's that 500 to 600 just gold of stats worth every single level that you have an advantage over your opponent.
And the Haunting guys just makes him hurt all the more. Can't really deal with him at the moment. But here it is then. Dragon going to be started off by OMG. Jace will be joining in the party. There is a ping there from Royal Club, so they're going to try and get involved, but I think this Dragon is going to be already gone. There's the smite coming out from Lovely. First Dragon of the game goes over to OMG.
And again, we're seeing the late game, or
whoa, teleport
repercussions of the teleport discrepancy. That was definitely unnecessary because they already had the teleport down, but now they're committed and they're probably going to shove in on this turret because right now they're giving up lane experience to Cola, some comeback time here for Cola. He's getting some good CS in, he's shoving up to the turret. This is a good opening for Royal Club to claw their way back in.
Well, they don't have any vision above, they're going to go in! Going, hasn't gone back yet! Goosey, is he going to burn down? He's got the revive on him from Insect! Insect's going to go down, Zero in trouble! They're going to keep on diving the turret, but Uzi's still fighting back! He will go down! It's a double for Zan! Can he make it a triple? Lovely comes in and gets the kill! And OMG turn on once again!
And this is again, both these teams know each other so well. Insect's penchant for ganking bottom lane. He ganked it a little bit too early there with Rumble still in the bush. That might have been a tad unlucky, but they didn't give it time to breathe, and they went a little bit too aggressive. Cloud, key. He got up his box before he died, and that slowed everyone down enough to bring those kills. OMG gonna run away with this early game.
And that was always the question mark for OMG. Is the bottom lane good enough to withstand that of Royal Club, especially in this match? But we see here again as we load up the replay, San going absolutely crazy.
All right, so they flashed in here, Insect. They do get their kill, but again, Box goes down, and he is very easy target here for San. Going really deep under this turret, and Uzi just get destroyed because San has such an item lead right now.
Yeah, at the start of that fight, he had the BF sword and pickaxe. Now you can see Infinity Edge has been completed. Uzi is hurting in this matchup.
This is exactly why I thought Lucian was going to be a higher priority in pick span, because Lucian has such a steady power curve amongst AD carries. There's no point where he is weak in the game. It's very important in the matchup between these two teams to have a very, very steady curve. Very good early game here. You can see, even though Royal Club are trying to make these early plays down bottom, they have the wrong AD carry for it. And he's got an Avarice Blade, which doesn't help.
Going aggressive, jumping on Cloud. Can he get the kill? He wants to finish it off, but there's no vision. They will come around the side. We'll get another shot off. Insect's going to follow through, but it will force them away, but they can't gain anything from this. And now OMG might corral them into position here. Good void points, catching off 4 of them. Another shock blast comes through, raining down on Starhole.
They need to force something.
They're in trouble. Lovely actually using his ultimate there, getting involved and just trying to get onto either Zero or Korn there, the two men that were blasted down by Cool thanks to that shock blast, but that didn't quite work out for them there in the end. They forced them away from this mid lane. It's going to now be all about blue buff. Let's not forget the start was a 3-minute long blue buff tussle. But actually going one way, San throwing down the Culling. Korn super low. He can't afford to give up that buff. Don't wait though. San may have gone a little bit deep. Insect going to get the knock-up. Cataclysm when he flashes away and San's the fight to the back. No! Uzi dives in on top of it to get the shutdown. He's still a 2-for-1 though for OMG.
I think that's the Uzi Insect mentality. They at least get their kill, but it's going to cost them complete map control. OMG can take control of both top and mid lanes off that single play. Jungle invade secured. This should be a pretty easy mid game here for OMG. They should be able to control every consecutive neutral buff from now on.
They threw so much at that at the start in the mid lane. OMG were happy in the lanes. This whole time, Gogoin's just been farming away at the top. You can see it's increasing that lead in the top lane. He's starting to become a monster. The mid tower's going down. The bottom one already fell. There was damage on towards the inner. There's the top going down. It's going to be a 3-1 tower start for OMG.
Yeah, he is already a complete monster. He's a beast in this game. But really, I want to go back to OMG's focus on the jungle. Like the featured matchup, their coaching staff obviously was focusing on this as well. 2 jungle bans, a first round jungle pick, and then constant counter ganking here from Loveling. They got the very deep ward down in the bottom lane. They saw Insect's move that they knew he was going to make down there eventually, and they took advantage of this bottom lane so well, keeping down the biggest carry from Royal Club.
Now 3 of them grouping up on the bottom lane. Only Loveling there for now to defend this turret. He's pretty decent at doing so, but Uzi with that Shiv now added in on top of his pickaxe will at least be able to push those waves a little quicker, but they need to be careful here. Both San and Cloud have decided to join in the party on that bottom side of the map, but it's simply to clear things out. Royal Club have already backed off.
Now, Royal Club, with the Dragon coming up in 1 minute, they have to be playing defensively right now because Going is almost level 11. He is level 11 now, and he's got needlessly large rod on top of all the flat penetration already. That Dragon fight is as much OMG's fight to win as any fight is going to be in this game. So Royal Club just need to take it safe. Don't spend any resources over there. You know, try and get something on the top side of the map in exchange. Don't go for the fight. Try and just trade some money for it.
Speaking of the items, you can see a bunch of brutalizers being completed as well by Loveling and Cool. They are very much in position with 30 seconds to go on this one. Going to sweep out the wards, keep all of the coverage away. And that bottom lane's got to be careful it doesn't get collapsed on. They've got no tower to fall back to here, Joe.
It doesn't look like for now that they're moving down. In fact, Insect has just pinged down onto that bottom side of the map. He was trying to get involved. Zero had moved towards Uzi's position as well. So Royal Club not going to give this one up completely free. They've managed to get a ward in the back of the pit there, which I believe, yeah, is just out of range of the pink ward. So actually they've got vision of this one. Can they steal it? Oh, they've thrown the shot. The hook from Korn and from Cloud will follow through. Korn is going to get blown to pieces. There's Insect throwing down the Cataclysm. Well, that won't make much of a difference. Zero's one finished up Cloud, but Lovely is still going on this one. He manages to get the Zillion ultimate down. Cola will be chased to his death. They already lose out on Zero, and there is Lovely, who is now unstoppable with 4 kills for 1.
Yeah, that's pretty much the exact reason why we said they should probably not go for this Dragon fight. And that's not really Royal Club's style, though. They continue to go close and try and steal it with the Shockwave, but Cloud once again comes up with a great hook, lands his skill shot, and the team cleans up kills after it. OMG probably going to steamroll through the rest of this mid-game.
That was a very one-sided fight. You can see the hook started off there on Korn.
Yeah, so he tried to steal with that Shockwave. Good attempt there, but man, the collapse. What an ultimate from Rumble. Zones out half the team. They're able to flash over the wall. And even though there's an answer kill, Loveling on this Kha'Zix is so far ahead because of his great early jungle work. He's so strong, able to jump in and secure 2 more kills for the team. This guy, Loveling, the main reason that we like him, not even from just last Worlds, was just because he changes up his style pretty much every single game. And he adapts so well to his opponent. This is somebody that he's played against so many times, and he's just countered Insect so very well.
And you've just got to wonder, the question, maybe even the mentality of Star Rogue, the clear thinking, because going into that fight, despite the fact they knew they were behind in golden items, they're behind on 2 levels per person almost. You cannot win them fights.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we thought maybe they would send some people up top side, try and shove the top lane or something on the opposite side of the map so you don't have to fight those great team fight champions that you're faced with right now. However, they went for the steal, and, you know, they have to pay for it.
And they are losing more buffs. Cool will get that blue buff. It will surely just be a matter of time. They push down the top lane towards the inner turret. San joined in. Cloud actually clearing off wards on the side. And again, a big shock blast will knock Zero, not quite down to his namesake, but half of his health gone there. And you have to wonder how long they can actually hold on to towers at this point.
Yeah, a lot of poke coming through. There's that great siege that we talked about.
Cullen going down. Don't forget the equalizer can be thrown down at any point just to bully them and brute force push them off this tower. Surprised they haven't gone for it already here. The shock blast doing their work though, and this is the problem. Once you start falling behind, there is a Jace completely pounding away at you. That's your top laner, the tankiest member on your team. Hasn't completed the Trinity Force, has only got the Phage Machine on so far. Miles behind in terms of opponents. They cannot fight for these turrets.
Yeah, and even Uzi here still not quite completed the Infinity Edge on Tristana. He's holding on for dear life. With the early Shiv, he's trying to wave clear. They're trying to just turtle up here.
Well, through that turtling, they managed to get a tower, the second one of the game here for Royal Club, but Jace continues to batter from a distance, and they are going to wait this one out until they can get those final hits on that turret. They've scanned out the ward, which has now just been replaced thanks to Corn's Trinket, but this turret surely going down. Insect going to die.
Jumping on towards them, but he's not strong enough. Sang just quite happily tanks that through. There's the equalizer, splitting the team apart. Insect gets pounced on, straight away taking down Zero in trouble. And I think that's all OMG were waiting for. They're just like, wait for their opportunity. They cannot just take one, they can take 2 towers here.
So even if you are going to pull one of those last-ditch effort engages as this Royal Club team that's behind right now, you do it when all 5 people are already there. You don't have the teleport start channeling when Insect jumps in. You lose precious seconds, as you said, on one of the frontline champions that they don't have. And that's another lost team fight for Royal Club here, and a very, very easy Baron pickup for OMG. Maybe Zero was not joking, and they wanted to start this series out 0-2 so that they don't fall into their own curse.
Well,
losing the best of 5s after getting ahead.
Yeah, it's certainly looking like they're starting out 0-1 at least, because this game all in control for OMG. Both Dragons taking the Baron. They've got a 12,000 gold lead after just 22 minutes. And we were talking about yesterday's semi-final, a clean sweep for Samsung White. Tell you what, OMG aren't too far away from those kind of numbers that White were putting up yesterday.
It is a very strong start from OMG, no doubt about it. There was a lot of questions. Doublelift himself was talking about Uzi the God in the bottom lane, and Sand was lackluster. I gotta be honest, Sand's looking pretty damn good in his opening start on Lucian, but let's not forget, he's on his favorite champion, and that's something they need to start looking at. Starhorn Royal Club, while they may not come back in this game, have to start looking at how they're going to focus on the pick and bans in game 2 as the red side.
And I think not even just the pick and bans, but also their early game style. The problem for them has been predictability. The Insect and Uzi mentality has been very easy for OMG. You know, they've become accustomed with it over the years, and it was very easy for them this game to use that against Royal Club, which is, you know, Royal Club's biggest strength as well as their biggest weakness.
Exactly. I mean, you heard Cloud talk about it as he did an interview back in the quarterfinals, pre-quarterfinals, and he said, you know, if we come up against Starhorn Royal Club, we know what we're going to up against. We know Uzi and Zero. They're going to be a very aggressive pairing, and we'll just sit back, play it passive, and play to our strengths. And we saw, of course, with the interview at the start of this game, Loveling coming down there. Those shock blasts. Oh, wow, that's a tilt shockwave right there. That's bad. They're going in.
Corn's going to be the focus of this one. He did get the ultimate from Zero, but that will be popped. He's going to come back. But will he get away from it? Going in the face. There is Azonia's down. Loveling actually picking up the kill in the back onto Insect, and that will be a 1-0. Another minion wave will be coming through, and the inner turret in the bottom lane is going to fall. Going says, come on, guys. Let's just tank this one up. They are going to be able to finish that one off before the minion wave even comes close.
Got to give props to pretty much every player on OMG for this game. Everybody did their job very well from top to bottom here. Now it's pretty much the final siege, and they do have that Baron buff regen, so they can stick around.
Well, this is definitely Starhorn Royal Club's
top wave
struggle.
Is massive right now, though. Somebody wants to go grab that big pile of money.
We'll see whether anyone gets caught out. Sam's left on his own, and there's 4 members. Don't think they're going to slow down chasing. They could speed up, of course. Insect going to track him back all the way here, but he may set up a trap. Look at this. Cloud and Loveling on the Dragon. Starhorn Royal Club are going to come around. They're going to try to lead it. Not going to happen. Insect in the pit. They're going for it. Cataclysm jumps on in and straight away gets smashed.
The teleport's still available for going, so if OMG can bait further aggression in, then they can turn it around. Not going to happen, though. Oh, he's going to try and cut him off instead. Interesting move. See if they can actually grab.
Here he is.
Coming around the side. He's going to come in towards Korn and Uzi. Who's he going to focus here? Kohler takes a bit of damage there. Eagle-Eyes are pinning them against the wall. Sands coming around. There's the shockwave onto 2, but it's not going to be enough here. 1 by 1, they're decimated. A double in the end for going is the ace for OMG.
What a bloody massacre. They just lined Royal Club up against the wall and shot each one in the back of the head. All down in the bottom lane is going to be easy pickings for OMG.
There is simply no reverse gear for Starhorn Royal Club. They don't know how to play defensive. Their defense is offense, and it seems that it is really running just headlong into a brick wall of OMG every time.
Thing is, it's just like poker. If you know that you have a tendency like this that your opponent is going to prey on, you can switch it around and try and use that against them and play one step up in those mind games. Maybe in game 2, Royal Club will flip the switch and pull something different.
Well, they definitely need a different outcome to how this one's going. 19-5 in kills, 18,000 gold lead. And look at Cloud, how he got himself in there using those columns and the equalizer to pin him on the wall.
There's nothing more to say about that. That is just a bloody massacre in the bottom lane. And they did get the inhibitor off that, which is the best inhibitor in the game to have, furthest away from Baron. Baron word, maybe that's their key to get back into this game for Royal Club.
Who knows? Maybe we can
probably not
in there, but probably
not. I mean, Loveling has just been so good this game. Legendary already. By the way, when we talk about how flexible he is, this is the guy that played Jungle Yorick last year and Jungle Braum in a competitive match and won the game. This is not some one-trick pony, only Kha'Zix because Kha'Zix is so strong right now. This guy is a very, very intelligent jungler.
I know you were secretly hoping for that Jungle Braum to come out here, but it's not going to happen, I don't think. Inner turret going down as OMG look to control this matchup and see if Starhorn Royal Club, or more importantly, Insect, want to fling themselves in there once again because he's been the man that's just been launching himself into OMG every single time and paying the price for it with his life. 1-6-2, you can see, up against some gigantic stats of OMG now.
And that's, that's pretty much always been Insect's style of jungling, though. He's a frontliner, he's an initiator, he has a lot of deaths, but he creates a lot of plays for his team.
Going again.
Now he's creating a play.
Going to Cloud, and they might actually be able to finish off Cloud. He did manage to hook onto 0, though, and this will be instantly turned around. Cloud surviving after all that, and the double kill for Cool means that only 3 men are left to try and hang on to this second in him.
Those shock blasts doing half the hit points on Korn. I just can't tell whether the 0 just completely baited Insect into that. I'll spec up, go for it. You can do it, I believe.
Maybe Insect's got the wrong name. He should be going, because he's always going in.
Oh, dear me. So, top Inhib tower goes down. Inhib will follow, and OMG looking incredibly strong in game 1. But Starhorn Royal Club, they really haven't played this one too smart, honestly. They've been running in like headless chickens trying to finish off this game. They're certainly going to finish it off one way or another, that's for sure, and it's going to go OMG's way. I'm not sure they're even going to back away from this, Joe. I think they're just going to keep on driving.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, why not? You've got all 3 inhibitors on the map down. You've got super minions streaming in from every lane. 1 Nexus turret is already dead. There's not really a lot to lose in this scenario for OMG. They're going to clear out the minions. I think Royal Club are going to give it one last-ditch effort to try and hold on to this game for just a little bit longer. See there, Insect smiting down the super minion, but he lives even longer. There's the damage on towards Cool, but can they hold him off? Shockwave comes in. Kohler is going to go very low. They're actually trying to kill off Uzi at the bottom, and they won't just try. It'll be easy peasy. Korn gets back onto the fountain, but OMG turn back around towards the Nexus, take down the second turret. They're going to take the game.
Indeed. Dominant performance for OMG here in game 1. Korn just tries to come off the fountain. They want to pick up some more kills. Korn go on back just at the end. But solid victory in game 1 for OMG. Very much controlled the game, controlled the lanes from the very start with that 3-buff opener. And they didn't look back.
And that's the danger with sticking to a style for too long, because somebody is going to use it against you. The thing is, with that style, Royal Club, if it looks really good if just a couple things go differently in the early game. If they get a leg up in the early game, then this style of constant pressure does look really good. So in game 2, they're going to have to switch that up.
But I think that's actually how sometimes it can look like they're getting absolutely destroyed, because a lot of teams, when you do start to fall back, you lose a dragon, you lose a tower here and there, you say, we're not gonna fight for the next dragon. But their style is fight, because if Insect gets in there, manages to somehow get out again after stealing the dragon, or we pick up a couple of kills, that's maybe a way back into the game. They're not a roll over and die kind of team. They'll fight, and I think that's why sometimes it looks ridiculously one-sided, because they do just pile in time and time and time again.
They are a very risk-loving team, probably the most risk-loving team there is.
And the thing is, like from the very start, the pick and bans, we said, okay, they've got a great mid-level team, OMG, they're going to go at it. Star Road Club, they got a pretty late-game team. They needed to sit back, but they just don't know how.
It was, I think, really the early game with the jungle standoff and then turning out into the lane swaps, how they did with Aurelia not being able to even get experience. Just from that point of the game, Royal Club really had their options cut off. So again, early game is pretty much all their focus is going to be on next time around and starting out with a better opening.
Well, we're going to hope they start off with a better opening. We're going to see how this one works out. But what a fantastic opener, though. And let's look towards the bottom lane, because that was one of our focuses, as well as the jungle, which very much went one way towards love lane. The top lane as well. But the bottom lane is the big one I want to talk about, because OMG obviously is the superstar of Star Road Club coming into this game. And he was, from the very beginning, jumping in, trying to get those kills. And as Double have said, sometimes you can turn them into quad kills and go crazy. But when you're jumping in that early on a Tristana against a Lucian, you have to have a little bit of respect for it.
And that's the difference as well, right? I mean, Uzi could have picked up 2 or 3 kills in those early stages and later on being an absolute beast, but you're kind of opposite side to doing those jumps in is that you can die over and over, and then you're just not going to get to your late game point.
This is why for Royal Club, I don't like the Zilean Trist combo, because pre-6, Zilean doesn't peel for Trist at all, can't help him out, and Uzi pre-6 Tristana, it was rough for them. Couldn't peel for himself either.
And I wonder if that's just the pick and bans. They just fed them into pick that Zilean first, and we know how to counter it. So let's check over towards the analyst desk. Quickshot and the guys are ready to take a closer look at that victory.
Thank you very much, T-Man. A good start to the series for OMG. I'll ask the desk later if it's the same level of dominance as White versus Blue game one yesterday, but that's at the end. I first want to ask Double, if you're the only one that had faith in Royal Club along with 50% of our viewers, what went wrong for your team, dude?
Holy crap, everything went wrong. Starting from level 1, right, they did that 4-minute standoff, and the waves actually, the camera didn't really show it, but the waves were all pushing in for OMG, which is really good in a lane swap situation, because you saw Rumble got to get XP for free, where Aurelia had to go down that dangerous lane, and it didn't end up working. She got absolutely screwed in the early game, and that just kind of snowballed.
Yeah, and we actually do have a replay of that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, because we haven't had an instructional rotational video.
Monte Cristo.
That's right, rotations with your host, Monte Cristo. So this is immediately after that blue buff standoff, so we're looking at about 3 minutes here, obviously a very delayed situation. So when we roll the clip, we're going to see that both of these lanes ended up pushing in OMG's favor. Now, in a normal situation, OMG would want the 2v2 and the 1v1, but they see an opportunity to get going some immediate experience and really get him that advantage. So as he goes up into that top side, the lane is pushing towards him. Uzi's going to have no choice but to give him a big wave. Now, bottom side, if we look at where the jungle is right now, they decided to go from blue to red, Starhorn Royal. And instead, what they should have done is gone blue to blue, but OMG makes the right call here. They send their dual lane into the bottom side, so if they try and contest that blue, if they do go to red, they will have more people on that side of the map, and then it'll be the defense of the blue will be quite easy. So very, very good play from OMG, a reaction, and it was on the fly, because they wanted the 2v2 initially. They wanted the 1v1. Adaptive play was awesome there.
Yeah, it absolutely screwed Royal Club when their dual lane stayed top lane after their blue had been taken. If they rotated their bottom lane down towards the bottom side of the map, they could take the enemy blue, and Insect wouldn't have been screwed early game. But what ended up happening was Insect got 1 buff, Cola got absolutely put super far behind, and because of that, Uzi and Zero had to lane swap into that lane in an unfavorable matchup, so 4 people ended up behind just because of a poor level 1.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Zilean just doesn't play out well in a lane swap. I really agree with what Colby said on the desk there right after the game. Zilean Tristana is such a wonky lane to play in, because 2v2, if you get outpicked, you'll lose, and if you end up playing a 2v1, Tristana can't skill her E ability because she'll push the wave, so the enemy top laner will get more farm. Zilean doesn't roam all that well. He needs at least level 4 and a tier before he can actually start moving around the map. And then short, speaking about that tier, I think Zero should have went for tier into CDR boots at least, because if you go tier and Moby boots, it just doesn't really work out on Zilean. And we could see that he doesn't have the same level of impact in his game as, say, a Janna or a Thresh would have had. So I'm really surprised they ended up banning Janna and picking Zilean rather than just, why don't go with that comfortable Janna pick?
So Freak, talk to me a little bit about what happened after that level 1. I know the analysts are feeling quite heavy, but it also played out individually. It felt like OMG just made more aggressive moves.
Right, so ultimately we have a replay. It's about a 12-minute fight in the bottom lane. And the thing is about this is, number one, Starhorn Royal Club picks this fight. Number two, it's not the gold lead necessarily that makes a big difference here. It's actually their awareness of the situation. So things I jotted down like 17 things that happened right before this fight started. So first of all, Gogoing wouldn't even be in this fight if Explosive Shot didn't stop his recall. I timed when he tried to recall, then he got stopped and he tried again. He wouldn't even be here if he hadn't gotten stopped by like the dot from Uzi in the first place. So that was already hilarious. But number two, Star and Royal Club have basically they have a 3v4 ahead of them. Cola can't join them, Korn can't join them. They watch Cool Recall, they know Loveling's around, and they saw Gogoing was just here a second ago. So they could be easily walking into a 3v4, and are. On top of that, San has a BF sword and pickaxe, Uzi has a pickaxe and an Avarice Blade. So they are heavily underpowered on the map right now, and Insect's like, let's go fight a battle. So let's roll the clip out, see what happens. It's a really cool start. Zero speeds up Insect dives in. That's a really sick hook, and all this is great. And of course, they even blow up Cloud, but surprise, Gogoing's in a brush, he's burning your faces down. And by the way, he's also hit Hunting guys, so off that lane swap point, he actually managed to earn that 1,500 gold for this one. Pretty quick kill trades here. This is good by San, though. He ends his ulti really quickly after realizing he's killed Insect, and then keeps going. Gogoing then also does a really good job with turret aggro. He's got no cooldowns up, so he just walks right back. Then goes in when he can cast spells one more time, walks right back out with a cooldown. So good turret juggling, good fight awareness, but a really silly engage by Royal Club.
From there on out, OMG just found opportunities to find kills. They completely arrested control of the game. I've got a question to Doublelift and Crepo. How important is the opening, let's say 6 minutes of the game and then that 10-minute tower dive to avoid Royal Club getting sunk in game 2? Doublelift, you're grinning a little bit. What do you think?
I think it's so funny because after watching this, I realize now Royal Club is probably the most tempo-based team, and if they get behind early, they have absolutely no idea how to play. So I fully expect them to have their coach kind of dictate a better, safer early game so that they don't fall behind and just run headfirst in these fights that, like Freak said, are impossible to win. There's everything going against you, but they don't have the situational awareness to know it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that one, Korn is underplaying. He normally holds up much better in the Chinese matches. But two, there have been some Royal Club comebacks. Went back and watched the games. There's one where they were down like 8k, but it was Uzi's Kog'Maw, and it's like found a good pick. I think they do keep picking late game AD carries because they can win those miracle fights. Just be smarter about your mid games. Be smarter about your engages. Honestly, just don't pick Tristan anymore in this matchup because you're going to get rolled over in 18 minutes. Yeah,
I really think it all depends on what composition you want to run, of course. Like, I like to see Uzi go back a little more towards the early game because he needs to get that mark going. He
does that.
Yeah.
He's okay
in certain lanes. With certain picks, actually, I agree there. If you get Kog'Maw going. But I prefer something mobile on Uzi because you'll see where he changes himself from an average or a great AD carry to the absolute best is the way he uses gap closers offensively, in which any situation, any other AD carry or analyst go like, hey, what's he doing?
Or ambush as well, like his use of stealth also.
So last thoughts here, Doublelift, before we move on.
I just want to point out how useless I feel Zilean has been throughout this entire tournament. I mean, we saw Hart try to play it, missed every ulti, was completely ineffective against White, which was a one-sided game. But this game as well, Zilean just seems so weak. People are not so stupid to fall for that EXP lead where the solo lanes get the EXP, get the level first, then all in. People aren't falling for that anymore. Zilean just doesn't seem to be as good as any of the other supports, and I don't want to see Zero play it ever again. It was horrible.
And honestly, to continue that point, we have these heavily contested top laners like Maokai and Alistar. By the way, I haven't seen Gogoing win an Alistar game in Chinese playoffs or in regionals. He's like 0-5 on the champion, and yet, it's the first ban coming out here from Star and Royal Club. They're repeatedly doing this, whereas you attack Insect's pool and he's gone.
Well, I hate to cut you off. We do need to roll this one on, guys. Take a short break. When we return, we'll see how Starhorn Royal Club will respond to OMG's dominant Game 1 victory. Guys, stay with us. We'll keep the conversation going.
Insect's gonna go down.
diving the turret, but Uzi's still fighting back. He will go down. It's a double Bazat.
Oh, they've thrown the shot. They've thrown the hook from Korn. And from Cloud will follow through. Korn is going to get blown to pieces. He's going to come back. But will he get away from it? Going in the face. There is a Zonius down. Kohler takes a bit of damage. Eagle Line pins them against the wall. Sam coming around. There's the